Does anyone remember the PBS Kids show Arthur? It's about an 8-year-old aardvark who deals with real-life situations like divorce, 9/11, and autism. Anyways, Christmas was coming soon and I was really struggling to find my little brother a present, so I decided to go on eBay and buy him an Arthur VHS since he's a huge fan of Arthur for some reason. I looked at the price and it was $6.66 and I was a little confused, and the description said you will die if you buy this. I was even more confused, but I bought it anyway because it was the cheapest Arthur VHS I could find and I was short on budget. 6 minutes later I heard a knock at my door and the VHS was delivered to my house. I was happy and hid it under my bed till Christmas. I thought it was kind of odd how the VHS costed $6.66 and it took 6 minutes for the VHS to be delivered to my house. I just shrugged it off and went to sleep. Christmas finally came and my little brother was excited to see what I got him. I handed over his present, and when he opened it, he was ecstatic to find an Arthur VHS. I was happy to see him happy, but there was one thing worth noting. The VHS looked weird. It had a somewhat poorly drawn illustration of Arthur in the cover behind a red background, and the VHS was called Arthur13, not to mention the VHS box smelled like blood. I decided to just let my little brother watch the episodes and change the VHS box into something more child-friendly afterwards. It was a little while and I was doing the dishes, but then all of a sudden I heard screaming and crying coming from my little brother's room. I rushed into there as fast as I can, but to my surprise nothing seemed bad. My little brother was coughing up blood, so I let him rest. I looked at the TV and it was completely static. Why did Arthur's teacher kill everyone? My little brother said. I was shocked to hear what he said, but I reassured him that he probably fell asleep while watching the VHS and had a nightmare. However, my brother was still bleeding out of his eyes, nose, mouth, and ears, so I called my parents and told them to take my brother to the emergency room. I didn't believe my brother, but I was curious as to what was on the VHS that made him freak out, so I popped the VHS in and had a watch. When it started, there was no PBS Kids logos, no theme song either. There wasn't even an episode intro with Arthur talking to the viewers. It immediately started the episode at the title card. I noticed that the title card was just white text in a black background, and the text was in Japanese, and since I am half Japanese I was able to translate the episode's title, which was All of Arthur's Friends Die. I was a bit shook up but continued watching anyway. The episode began in Lakewood Elementary, in Mr. Ratburn's, Arthur's teacher, class. The entire scene looked really depressing. It was dark and nobody was smiling. It was ominously quiet, but then Arthur began to speak. Does anyone know what happened to Mr. Ratburn? He's never been this late. Maybe he got abducted by aliens, said Buster. Arthur, aliens? What the fuck, Buster? Stop bringing up this bullshit. Aliens don't fucking exist. I was a bit shocked to see an Arthur episode with uncensored cursing in it. Buster, just like how your penis doesn't fucking exist. I've seen you in the locker room and it's so small, it practically disappeared. Arthur, ooh, you're so gay looking at my dick and shit. At least I don't use my computer and jerk off to men spraying their bazooka juice all over their muscular partner. The whole class besides Buster laughs out loud. Buster, you fucking asshole. I thought I told you that was a secret between you and me. Rain, actually it's you and I rather. Buster, shut the fuck up, you know it all about your bag. You'll never get fucking laid. Because girls don't dig guys with fucking heads the size of a goddamn planet. Rain, fuck off you bastard. Buster notices Arthur's backpack and sees a bionic bunny doll covered with semen. Buster, what the actual fuck is this? Arthur, look, I was just really lonely and I needed to jerk off somehow. Buster, You accuse me of being a homo, yet you splatter your jizz all over a macho rabbit who's not even sexy in the fucking slightest. Buster's eyes suddenly became black holes with black blood spilling out of it. He then got out a gun from his pocket that he was originally going to use to shoot up the school and shoots himself with it. Hyper-realistic blood sprayed everywhere and the whole class was covered with Buster's blood. Mr. Ratburn, sorry I'm late class. I was in traffic. Mr. Ratburn notices Buster's dead body in the floor. Mr. Ratburn, holy fucking shit, what the fuck happened? Mr. Ratburn looked pissed off. Binky, it was Arthur's fault. He was the one that made Buster off himself. Arthur, go fuck off Binky. You look like a fucking goomba, you tattletale bitch. Binky, you fucking asshole. I'm not the one who came all over a fucking toy. Arthur, who gives a fucking shit? I was feeling horny last night, so what? Can't I just enjoy my fetishes without being fucking kink shamed? Francine, you know Arthur, I used to think you were sexy, but after hearing about what you were doing, I changed my mind. You turned me off harder than any electrical appliance. Arthur, oh that's just fucking great, now you're in on this shit too? Francine, that's fucking right Arthur Reed. I'm now attracted to Muffy and I'm officially a lesbian. We are going to fuck all night long after school and you're not invited for a three-way, you fucking pig. Muffy, ooh, I've always wanted to get fucked by a lady my size. Mr. Ratburn, alright class, settle down. Now, since all of you are so obsessed with sex so much all of a sudden, I have decided to dedicate the whole day to sex ed. The whole class begins to scream in terror. Mr. Ratburn, now class, your first assignment is this. Mr. Ratburn pulls down his pants and underwear. Mr. Ratburn, suck my dick. The whole class angrily says no. Mr. Ratburn gets out a shotgun and points it at the entire class. Mr. Ratburn, if no one wants to fucking suck my big juicy cock, then everyone is getting the death penalty. Get to sucking my new dick, bitches. Everyone in the class gets into a line and begins to suck Mr. Ratburn's penis one by one. Some of the students even got Mr. Ratburn's semen into their mouths and they were forced to swallow it or else Mr. Ratburn would shoot them. Suddenly, sirens start to go off and it was the FBI. One of the students apparently called 911 on Mr. Ratburn. FBI knocks loudly in the classroom door. FBI open up. Mr. Ratburn, alright, who fucking snitched on me? FBI, you are under arrest for pedophilia and rape. Get in the fucking car. Mr. Ratburn, fuck no, this is America, you fucking pigs. Mr. Ratburn gets out an AK-47 out of his bag and begins to shoot at all the FBI officers. Hyper-realistic blood sprayed out of all of them and it was a bit scary. FBI, guys, Mr. Ratburn. Okay class, since no one wants to face up to being a fucking snitch, I guess I will have to kill every single last one of you fucking shitheads. The entire class, Mulu. Mr. Ratburn gets out a minigun and begins to spastically shoot at all the students one by one. They were all wiped out in a matter of seconds, and hyper-realistic blood was all over the classroom. Mr. Ratburn then went on a rampage and shot everyone in the entire school. There was nobody left in the school besides Mr. Ratburn. All of a sudden a word from us kids segment popped up. I really liked those and it was bringing back nostalgic memories. I wondered what it was about. Unfortunately, it was about a naked girl in a bloody bathtub getting tortured by her abusive boyfriend who had a knife and was cutting all of her skin off until she had no skin left. I felt like I was going to throw up. Then it said now back to Arthur. Another title screen popped up in Japanese which read, all of Arthur's friends died too. I couldn't take watching another episode of this so I popped out the VHS tape and broke it with a hammer, but the VHS miraculously put itself back together and it was good as new. I have no idea what to do with the tape now. I then started to have blood come out of my eyes, nose, mouth, and ears just like my little brother. I needed to go to the hospital but first I turned in the news, because I like watching the news. I tuned into channel 666 news by mistake, and the news reporter reported a man who legally changed his name to Nigel Rabbrian shot up an elementary school close to my house. There were no survivors. I thought it was a creepy coincidence that this happened after I watched the Arthur episode. When I went to the hospital, my doctor said that I had a rare illness known as rat fever and that I only had a week left to live. I really didn't care, since Nigel Rabbrian has killed my entire family and my brother died of the same illness that I have recently, so I have nothing to live for anyway. If any of you ever see a VHS named Arthur13, do not watch it. Your life depends on it. You will suffer the same horrible fate as me.